And welcome back. For all the talk of needing a coronavirus vaccine, it appears that in record time we are very, very close to having one. Now, according to the United States' top infectious disease specialist, Dr. Anthony Fauci, the first COVID-19 experimental vaccine, which was developed by Fauci's colleagues at the NIH and Moderna, will start its most important step around the 27th of July. Now, this will be a 30,000-person study to prove if the shots are strong enough to prevent against the coronavirus. President Trump is applauding the move, saying that the U.S. will reach a vaccine in record time.
Through Operation Warp Speed, we will deliver a vaccine in record-breaking time. We're doing very well on the vaccines. We have many, many different vaccines being studied right now, many of which are looking really good. And we're ready to distribute the vaccine when we get it. We're all set.
But record time in reaching a vaccine can also be problematic, as some health experts are warning.
We ought to be careful. We don't want to rush the science. And we all know that developing vaccines is a difficult process. It's not always a straight line. So if everything works well, we can anticipate maybe the beginning of the year, sometime first quarter of the year, we might have some results, and it would be wonderful. But that assumes everything's working right on schedule.
And joining us now to discuss our Boom Bust co-hosts, Christy I and Ben Swan. Now, Christy, I wanted to start with you on this. Moderna has been out front of just about every other pharmaceutical company when it comes to this vaccine, and that has translated into skyrocketing stock prices. Give us an idea of how this latest news is landing.
Well, Moderna shares are surging today as the company says the coronavirus vaccine trial is producing some, quote, robust results in all 45 of its patients. So it was trading up as high as 16% in aftermarket hours upon news that the investors reined in their excitement. So in terms of the stock, it is now back to the previous highs back in mid-May upon the first indication that its vaccine was a potential candidate in the fight against coronavirus. Now, over the past 2 days, Moderna has jumped about 40%. Obviously on this piece of news today, but also on the fact that on Monday, the NASDAQ indicated that Moderna would be included as a component of the NASDAQ 100 index starting July 20th. So this means for the stock, it means more liquidity and more exposure for Moderna through passive ETF and index investing, which is something that has been gaining traction over the last decade. So year to date in total, Moderna is now up over 300% as it started January just under $20.
And now, Ben, you've been a pretty vocal critic about concerns over Moderna and the NIH. And I want to point out that Moderna has never brought a product to market yet, has received $500 million from the government. And there are multiple other companies in this same boat, including Novavax, which has actually received $1.5 billion to develop a vaccine by 2021, again, never having brought anything to market. So what about this latest announcement gives you pause?
Well, you just touched on some of it right there. There are really three issues with Moderna. Number one, the fact that so far in their process of creating this kind of fast-tracked vaccine, Moderna has skipped over very common practices, not law, but common practices that are used in order to develop a vaccine. One of those is to conduct animal trials. Moderna decided they were not going to conduct animal trials. They're going to skip over that step. That's a big step to jump over. Also, the fact that, as you pointed out, they've never brought a drug to market in the entire history of the company. Now, think about that. That means they have never been able to get FDA approval for the development of any kind of drug. And then thirdly, and I think this is equally as important as the other two issues, is the fact that Moderna is not using COVID-19. They're not using the actual virus in the development of the vaccine for COVID-19. That is a highly unusual step to take.
But Ben, I'm sorry, I got to follow up on that last point. You're saying that when it comes to the vaccine, Moderna is not using COVID-19. How unusual is that? And if they aren't using COVID-19, what exactly are they using?
Right, so it is very unusual, and this is why Moderna claims that they are kind of the new wave, the next generation of pharmaceutical companies, because what they're doing is they've essentially developed an artificial mRNA strand that they're using in order to essentially trick the body into thinking that it has a very light case of coronavirus, which triggers protein spikes in your system that will fight off the actual virus. but this is theoretical in many ways. It's never been done before, and it certainly has never been put into practice before. And what's really concerning about this is that Moderna started down this road back in December working with
Right.
the NIH. So NIH scientists were doing this. Moderna's been working with them. That's why they have the fast track. But again, they are using a whole set of processes here, guys, that are not common to vaccine development.
Christy, I just got a little bit of time here, but I want to touch on one thing here. We do know that earlier this year, the 5 top executives at Moderna have sold $89 million worth of stock, even as they are attempting to raise up to $1 billion in a stock offering. Do we know why they actually did that?
Well, in total now, it's about a little closer to about $100 million worth of stock sold in total. So these sales in Moderna, they're triggering a bit of a political debate because you don't want to be exploiting a crisis to make money. But the truth is that any company that's going to sell a vaccine is going to be making money on a crisis. So, for example, the company's chief medical officer, he cashed out the majority of his available stocks and options, netting over $35 million since January. So I don't believe that there's any misconduct here. Like most companies, there is a lockup period for execs and fixed schedules. So the execs are selling in order to hedge their risk and exposure and also to play into the market optimism on positive developments. So I don't think it's so much that they don't believe in their product, they're hedging so they don't put all their eggs in the basket, because back in May, there was over-enthusiasm, over-excitement, excitement over something that's been yet to deliver. So when the market's pricing over something that's already been delivered, you would want to cash out. I think it's very reasonable.
Boom Bust co-hosts Ben Swan and Christy I, thank you both for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brent.
And that's it for today. You can catch Boom Bust on